So creative, so fun, kept us engaged, so showed his creativity side as well. And while he's recovering, the plan is also put in the motion for Evolution to happen. On January 20th, Scott Steiner's taking on Batista when Randy Orton returns and attacks Steiner. And later, Ric Flair, the Nature Boy, and Triple H join in the attack, and Evolution is formed. Talk about Randy and Batista, Bruce. Do you think they were ready for all this and the big Evolution rub and push?
Again, I don't think they were ready, but at the same time, I felt that the best place for them to be would be surrounded by veterans like Ric Flair and Triple H, who could help them on a nightly basis by being in their corner, by teaming with them. I used to look at it and say you had the history of the business in Ric Flair, you had the now with Triple H, you had the future with Randy Orton, and you had the superstar in Dave Batista that was to be. It's like it was an incredible group, and wasn't always supposed to be that. Initially for about maybe 1 week, they shot vignettes that included Mark Jindrak in place of Randy Orton that didn't work out. I don't know if Jindrak just didn't necessarily click with the other three guys, but they all felt that Randy would click, and Randy immediately slid into that role, and it was a good combination. All four guys liked one another. All four guys clicked together, and there was a good gel. And Randy and Batista were sponges for everything that Rick and Triple H were teaching them.
What are Triple H and Rick saying to each other, saying to you? Any feedback they're giving about Randy during this time and having them a part of the group? Are they all in? Yep, we love these two. Randy's going to be great. We're here to
100%.
Yeah,
because Randy was great, and Randy was instantly able to keep up, and Randy was instantly able to go out there and be that youth. Send the kid in, let the kid take the bumps. But Randy was that guy. Randy was willing to go in and do that and learn that night after night after night. And Randy's training was different than Batista's, because Batista was a big guy. They were teaching Dave how to work like that monster that Dave was. So it was different styles, different personalities, and everybody was high on Randy Orton at that time.
and I'm sure too, some of you are thinking, wow, one day, can you imagine, even when this faction is over, now Hunter has Batista, Hunter has Randy as guys that he can work with in major main events and pay-per-views down the road. So there's all kinds of opportunity and creative plans to be in place for not only in the now, but down the road. I'm sure Triple H is also excited to see some younger guys start to take that next step and kind of be available and around to feed him and work with him down the road as well. So good stuff all around.
It was, and it was an opportunity again for them to grow and for them to get their personalities out there and it was a safe haven. It was really a safe haven for Randy and for Dave Batista both to be able to be a part of that group.
Well, Randy makes his return to the ring, finally teaming with Batista, and he's managed by Ric Flair in a losing effort on Raw to Scott Steiner and Booker T. Having Flair at ringside while these two are in a tag team has to be some of the best ways to learn during this era, right, Bruce?
Well, I don't know. They lost, man, so I don't know how good Flair was.
Well, they lost that match, but just having him there and his influence and really just coaching the guys along, you're not going to get too much better than the Nature Boy.
I think that Rick was absolutely tremendous as far as slowing them down and telling them what to do next, and just getting them to feel the audience, which is an art in and of itself.
Well, let's get into something I want to talk a little bit more about, and that's Shawn Michaels, because at Bad Blood in June of 2003, Orton helps Flair gain a victory over Shawn. Was Shawn at this point saying, hey, guys, let's find some opportunities. I want to work with this young kid. I want to get my hands on Randy. What do you remember of Shawn and working with Randy Orton then?
Well, it was an opportunity for Randy to learn. It was an opportunity to put Randy and see if Randy could hang on a nightly basis with one of the best in the world. And Sean definitely was one of the best in the world. So put him in the ring and let's find out if he can hang there. And Sean's going to push you. And Sean's going to let you know whether or not you've got it or not. And I think that Randy impressed everybody, not just Sean, but everybody that was involved, that, all right, Randy can go.
Well, Orton is really, if you think about it, in the role of Arn Anderson in Evolution. He's running interference for the world champ, and he's being a solid worker underneath. But you got to think that his ceiling wasn't, that ceiling that I guess maybe Arn was in the Four Horsemen. The sky was the limit for this kid at this point.
Yeah, I wouldn't consider him being the Arn Anderson of anything. I think that Randy had a great deal of talent, that people saw Randy as the top performer and the guy that would be a breakout star. I don't know that there was anybody that was secondary in this group. This group consisted of all top guys that could be in any role and be able to run with the company on top at any.
Well, having said that, Bruce, what are there legends now that you think of that, man, I wish we could have had Randy Orton just beat the shit out of just for some fun, if we could go back and do it all over again?
Yeah, not any that we didn't actually get to do, I think, in a lot of respects. Honky Tonk Man, we may have missed. I think Honky could have been an awful lot of fun. Greatest Intercontinental Champion of all time. Tito Santana, maybe, but it just
Arriba.
Yeah, depends.
Oh, that's good.
Bruno would have been good.
Bruno, just have him taking RKO.
Yeah. Pedro Murray, all of them. Just have to go down the list of every one of them. Superstar come out with his broken hip and take one and shit. Would have been great. Hobble down to the ring, RKO. You can fall down. It's not that hard to fall down. I do it every day.
So good. Well, Bruce Orton gets a win over Shawn Michaels at Unforgiven in 2003, and in about 19 minutes with a dusty finish when Flair puts Orton's leg on the rope and Earl Hebner restarts the match, and Orton gets a foreign object to hit Shawn with it to get the win. Win over Shawn Michaels on pay-per-view is such a rare thing. We all know that. I guess Shawn was good with putting Randy over here at this point.
I don't know why anyone would call that a dusty finish. That's not what the dusty finish is. But it was a hell of a match and an opportunity for Randy to be in that top spot and work with top guys. And as I remember, you go back and you look at Shawn, and that was one of those things, man. Shawn made Randy shine. And again, so many of these, you look at the unselfishness of Shawn, of Mick Foley, and the guys that were working with Randy that were able to just take this piece of coal, this lump of coal that you knew had a diamond in it, and just shine it up and continue to shine it up. And that contributed to where we are today with where Randy is.
And to your point, it speaks to guys like Shawn Michaels that were willing to work with the youth, the Batistas, the Randy Ortons, to help prepare them for the future. And so, when I asked you, was Shawn okay with putting Randy over here? Well, absolutely. It seemed like Shawn was all in with these guys and helping to develop them. And I think that's cool. It's good to see that. That's the big difference when Shawn came back for the second half of his career.
Well, Shawn, I think, was always willing, and Shawn was a great teacher and hell of a talent.